Hello IT Pros, welcome back to my IT workshop. This is Alventril, and in this video I'm going to show you how to virtualize or turn a physical computer, in this case it's a laptop, but it also works for a desktop as well. How to turn a physical computer into a virtual machine, and then you can run this computer, now that it's virtual, on another physical computer. So as you can see here, I'm showing you that this is a full-fledged laptop. The brand is Dell, as I use Dell a lot in my videos. And you can see the charger there because the battery is dead for a long time now, so it's not working anymore. So here I'm pointing out to the battery that is missing, so it's not working. So, but this is not going to be a problem. So now, why are we doing this? And the reason is because, let's say you have an old computer, okay? And I had this problem with a client last year, 2019, that this client had this computer from 2012. It had Windows 7, and it has a lot of financial software that this client didn't remember the serial numbers for this, because it's more than 5 years, 7 years, 8 years. And that's why she needed this kind of help. So I tried to clone the hard drive, which I know how to do. I have videos in my channel for that, but it didn't work because the serial number was missing. So I applied this method and everything ran as expected, okay? So not everything is perfect. I'm going to talk about while I do the video, but that's why one reason that you could do it, to have an old game, an old software that you had in your Windows 7 computer. So now I'm going to open a CMD, and as always I'm going to type this command, systeminfo, as I have done in many of my videos, and it's going to tell you a lot of information about this physical computer. So it's going to tell you the name, that's a general name. As you can see there, it says Microsoft Windows 10 Pro, but it also works for Windows 10 Home, Windows 8, Windows 7. I never tried for Windows XP. It might work, but I never had the chance to do it. But I know it worked for Windows 7, 8, and 10. It doesn't matter the version. This one is Pro, but you might have Home. Then you can see many other things. Below you can also appreciate the processor. It says Intel. I'm doing this on an Intel based processor, and the computer where I'm going to run this machine once it's virtualized is going to be an Intel computer as well. So as you can see, it says 1900 megahertz of speed, so keep that in mind. And I also have the BIOS version. If you want to know how to update the BIOS version on a Dell computer, I have a video for that. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. So the model for this computer is Inspiron 3521. So we know that now. It's a Dell Inspiron 3521. So I don't need this anymore. I'm going to close it. And now what we're going to do is, this computer was cloned using EaseUS Todo Backup. It's a free cloning software. I also have videos for that. I'm going to leave the link in the description below. And also for the SSD I'm using on this computer, I'm also going to leave the link for Amazon as well. Everything in the link in the description below. So here we have this folder, which is the actual software that we are going to use. I downloaded this from Microsoft website, so it's let's say you can trust this software, if you will. Again, I'm going to leave the link in the description below for everything I'm talking. So something I forgot to show you is I'm going to go to this PC. And as you can see here, I have only one hard drive, one volume, one partition, which is the C partition. If you have more, obviously you're going to see more here. But this one is 120 gigabytes. It is an SSD. Again, the link in the description below for Amazon. And I'm using just a fraction of it. So right now I have around 95 gigabytes free of space. So this computer has very basic. It has Windows 10 Pro. It has a few software, as you can see, Google Chrome, a PDF reader, some codecs, and some virtualization, VMware. I don't know why. I don't remember what I was doing, but apparently it failed. That's why there is no video about that. But that's another thing. So I'm going to open Task Manager. And I'm going to go to performance. So you can see the Pentium R CPU 2127U. So we can see the speed there. And then you can see the memory is 4 gigabytes. I mean the RAM memory. And you can see all the information here. So this is very important because we're going to see the same when the computer is virtualized. Okay. So now that we have everything, I'm going to open this file. and I'm going to go to the second icon because that's an application. I'm going to run it. So it's telling me, do you want to run this? Of course, that's why I'm here. So we click yes, and then it's going to load. So the software is called Disk2vhd version 2.0. So now maybe there is a newer version now. So as you can see here, this is all that there is. And this is the place where the virtual hard drive is going to be saved. You can change that, of course. I'm going to leave it by default. And down you can see the C drive, the C partition, and the system reserve. So this is by default. Just as you can see, it's automatically checked. You don't have to do anything here. If you have more hard drives, you're going to see more, obviously. So as you can see here, I'm going to uncheck use volume shadow copy, and I'm not going to use VHDX because that's the newer version, and we're going to run it in VirtualBox, which is a free software. So I want VHD, which is the old version. So again, these two are selected. Leave it like that if you only have one hard drive. And as you can see here, the space required is going to be for around 14 gigabytes. Okay, so in this case, since I have a lot of space, this is going to fit in my hard drive with no problems. But in other cases, you might need an external hard drive to store this virtual machine. So now I'm going to change the name. So I'm going to call it, I don't know, image, just to call it something. And I'm going to click create, as long as the extension is VHD. Now, this process is going to take some time. Well, actually, in this case, for this video, it's going to do it very fast, as you can see in the video. But in the example I was talking about this client that had a computer from 2012, it took around 3 or 4 hours because the hard drive was very old and it had more than 100 gigabytes of information. So it took a long time. So it's going to depend how much information you have. Now, since we are waiting, this is a good time to remind you to subscribe to this channel and like this video if you like it for the YouTube algorithm. So, as I was mentioning, something else I wanted to mention is that I did this for an AMD processor, but it didn't work well. Okay, so we're going to talk about that maybe in another video. So after this process has finished, as you can see, it didn't take a lot of time because, well, this computer is kind of new. It doesn't have much information, only Windows and a few pieces of software, and it's using an SSD. So once the process is completed, as you can see here, what we are going to do is just close the software. We don't need it anymore. And we can see where it's stored, which is in this folder here. You can change that, of course. You can put it anywhere you might like. So I'm going to open it. Come on. And no, I opened it twice. So I'm going to close one, and there you go. That's the image file, which is the virtual machine. Now, I know it doesn't say much, but you're going to see in a few more minutes. So I'm going to go to properties. So it's called image. I'm going to do a close-up. VHD archive, VHD. So that's an extension for virtual hard drives in Microsoft. And well, open width doesn't make a difference. And the size, well, it's a little bigger than it was advertised. It's about 17 gigabytes. Okay, so I don't have anything else to do here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this file. I'm going to put it in my external hard drive because it's 17 gigabytes. That's a lot. And I'm going to put it on my computer. Okay, so that's all I have to do, and then I'm going to come back to you so we can continue and see how it works. So I'll see you in a few seconds. So, welcome back. Well, welcome back. Welcome for the first time maybe, and welcome back for the many others that have watched my videos for a long time. So as you can see here, we're on my desktop. And the icons are a little bigger so you can see it better. That's on purpose. So this is the file, image. So I'm going to right click on it, properties, and you can see the same. The name is image, virtual hard drive, VHD. You can see the size, 17 gigabytes. So it's the same. Okay, so the icon changed a little because I have the software to open it. So for that, we're going to use Oracle VMware Machine, Oracle VirtualBox, which is free software. I'm going to leave the link in the description below, as always, that allow us to create virtual machines. So if you want to know how this works, I have a video for that. And I'm going to leave, again, the video in the description below. So In that video, I created Kali Linux, which is a Linux distribution. So I explained how to install VirtualBox and how to run Kali. So I'm going to click on New, as you can see here, and now I'm going to type a name. I didn't know what to put it, but I decided for just laptop. And now I'm going to select Microsoft Windows, and I'm going to scroll down to Windows 10. But let's see what else it has. I can see Windows 8.1, 7, Vista, Windows XP, Windows 98. Okay, so this one supports a lot of operating systems. Maybe I'm going to do something in the future for this. So I'm going to select Windows 10. Next, now you can decide how much RAM you want to give your virtual machine. So in this case, I'm going to just give it 4 GB like it had in the real machine, so no problems with that. And here I have 3 options. I do not want to create a virtual hard disk. So the option we have to choose is use an existing virtual hard disk file, because that's what we have. So we click on the folder, we don't see it here, and I'm going to click on add. So it's going to go directly to my desktop, and as you can see, the image file is there. So I'm going to just double click on it, just to add it, and there you go. I'm going to go to continue, create, and that's, well, almost everything. So here we are. So I'm going to go here. We can select these 2 machines. I'm going to select laptop because that's the one I need. I'm going to go to settings. I go to systems. I go to processors, and now I can give it more CPUs. In this case, as you can see, I have 8 CPUs. I'm going to give it 4. As you can see here, I didn't decide, so I'm going to give it 4 at the end. But you can give it at least 2 if I remember correctly. So I'm going to click Start, and the machine is going to start. It opened in the other screen because I have 2, so I'm going to bring it here. So as you can see, VirtualBox 6.0. And now Windows is starting. So the video sped up, so you don't have to wait the real time. It took a few seconds. It wasn't that bad, but I'm trying to size the window because it doesn't look so good. So now I'm just going to do that. That's a little better. So there is a way to fix this. Maybe I'm going to do in another video. If you like it, just leave the comments below if you want to see more about this. So I'm going to log into this computer. I type the username and password, and you can see. So we have the pop-up network. Since I'm not going to be using this very much, it's just to show you the idea on how to do it. I'm just going to click no, because I don't really need it. But the point of this virtual machine is not to have access to the internet, because that's not really the point. You can do it, but that's not really the point. So as you can see, we are in the desktop right now, and it looks similar as the one we have seen a few minutes ago. So the difference is that we are using a cable, not Wi-Fi. So I'm going to go to this PC, and do you remember the size? It's exactly the same. Even though we are just using 17 gigabytes, it's showing us what it shows us in the physical laptop. The point of these virtual machines, when you create one and turn it into a file like we have done in this video, is not to continue storing more files. That's not the point. Okay, it's just to preserve the computer that you already had for some reason that you may have. For example, you have some games that you don't have the key code for the moment, or you have financial software like in the real case I explained. But the point is not to add more things to it, it's just to keep it the way it is. So I'm going to open it. We can see all the folders that encompasses Windows. So I'm going to close this because we don't need it. I'm just showing you that it looks the same as the real computer. So now I'm going to go to input, I'm going to go to insert, and we're going to go to task manager. I'm going to go to performance, and you can see all that, the CPU, the memory, which is 4 gigabytes. As you remember a few seconds ago, I changed that to 4 gigabytes, but I believe Windows 10 can work with at least 1 gigabyte, if I remember correctly. But of course, it's going to be way too slow. So I'm going to close this. What we are going to do next is cmd run as an administrator, and we're going to type the same command, system info. So we're going to load for a few seconds, and we have all the good information that we had in the real computer. So in the physical computer, so you see the name is the same, but the processor is different now. It's showing the one I have on this physical computer, the host machine where this is running. And system model, it doesn't say Inspiron anymore, it says VirtualBox, because that's what we are running. Even though this was a Dell Inspiron laptop, it's not anymore. I mean, it still is, but you get the point. It's virtualized. We have turned it into a file that we can run it inside another computer, Windows computer. So now, as you can see here, everything, it's interesting how it looks, that you can run a computer inside a computer. It's a virtual machine, but we have created it based on a physical, real computer. So that's pretty nice. Now, what other things can we do here? Like I was mentioning, I tried this on a laptop, HP laptop with AMD processor, not Intel, AMD, and it didn't really work well. I mean, it worked, but not the way you are seeing it right now. It had its problem. Maybe I'm going to do a video in the future when I find the fix for that. So I just wanted to tell you that. And by the way, if you had, but before that, I believe, oh yeah, if you had an old, for example, you want to do the same for your old computer from 2012 or 2010, for example, and your of course your hard drive is very old. If you want to do this, your hard drive is not going to increase its speed. It's not going to work better here. It's going to be as slow, maybe a little faster, but not by much, because we are just making a copy of the physical computer. And if the physical computer is inside, it's stored in an old hard drive, mechanical one, it's going to still be slow. In this case, it's very fast because, as I mentioned before, this one has an SSD and it's a new computer. Okay, well, not that new, the SSD is new and it doesn't have a lot of information, as I mentioned. So another thing we're going to do is to test if we have internet. We're going to ping Google, well, the DNS of Google, and it's working. Now we're going to open Google Chrome, and we're going to go to YouTube, and we're going to look for this channel, my IT workshop, and see what happens. As you can see, it's working, the internet is working, and that looks great. By the way, you can see the videos there. And guys, thank you very much. 638 subscribers as of this video. Thank you very much. I feel blessed when I see this number. I never thought I was going to even reach 100 subscribers. Thank you very much. So next, as you can see here, we have internet, but the point is not to have internet. Let's say you virtualize, you turn your old Windows 7 computer into what we have done here. It's not a good idea to do that because Windows 7 is an old computer, it's an old operating system. But before I forgot, we can shut down the computer doing this. We can go to shut down as we do in any other computer, or we can close it like any regular software. So we go to the cross, to the X, and I select power off the machine. I just click on it, okay, and the computer closes off, shuts down. Just as easy, and you are still in Windows. I mean, Windows 10. We shut down the virtual machine, which is also Windows 10. So you get the point. So now I go to settings, I go to network, and with this, if I uncheck that, enable network adapter, the machine, the next time we started it, is not going to have access to the internet. So it's that simple. It's so convenient to have this. Then I can change everything. All the changes like processor and RAM, you have to do it when the computer is shut down. You cannot do it live. Kind of the same like a physical computer, right? So what I was saying a few seconds ago is that the point of having this kind of machine is not to store more files on it, it's just to have it preserved. So if you need it, you turn it on and you do whatever you need to do, but do not put more files on it. That's not the point. Maybe you can do it, but that's not the point. And the other thing, you don't need to have internet access, network access, because if you have Windows 7, as you know, Windows 7 is not being supported anymore by Microsoft, so you have a lot of vulnerabilities that somebody can exploit in the internet. And even if you have a antivirus, what's the point? I mean, it's a computer just to use it when you need it, but it doesn't need internet access. Well, at least that's what I think, based on security views. Okay, so we can enhance this a little more, like I was saying before. If you want me to do that, let's say share files between these two computers, the virtual and the physical one, just let me know in the comment section below, and we're going to work on it, and I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay, so thank you very much for watching, guys. That's all I wanted to show you in this long video. If you like this video, please leave a like and subscribe. If you have any other comment or question, leave it in the comment section below, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.